we settle for the big one. Still live on News at 10. Now, the World Bank has expressed grave concern over the growing number of vigilante groups in the country. Now, the bank's regional director, Henry Karali, wonders why the police and the Interior Ministry have not taken concrete stance on this very issue.
The emergence of vigilante groups in Ghana's politics has been described by some governance and security experts as worrying. According to them, these groups have been cited in violent situations in by-election for peace-loving Ghanaians by the international community.
What we hear about political parties having youth groups or youth vigilantes, we wanted clarification on the purpose of these youth groups and how, if they are lawful, how they fit into the overall situation in Ghana. And that is the concern of the development partners, to get a clarification on the purpose of these youth groups or youth vigilantes.
What is the World Bank's worry about such groupings?
I think first and foremost whether or not they're legal. If they are not legal, then what is the government, what is the police, what's the Ministry of Interior going to do about them? If they are legal, then it's very important that they operate within the laws of the country.
Prosper Bani is the Minister of Interior.
These groups, as we know them, and as they are formed around political parties, are very illegal and cannot be tolerated as any legal or alternate security arrangement for political parties. And as for us, their groups are unlawful and cannot be recognized around any security framework. What we are suggesting to the political leaders is alternate arrangement that the state will provide security for their leadership and their activities. For vigilante groups, however you call them, they are just not lawful, and these groups will not be tolerated even as we prosecute the November elections.
These assurances notwithstanding, many experts believe a legislative instrument or a Supreme Court decision will put the issue to rest.
Let's stay on this very issue. Let's get on to the phone lines and speak to Director General of the Police Operations, COP Christian Tete Yaunu, on this very issue. Good evening, sir, and thanks for your time.
Good evening.
Now, you have listened to the World Bank and some of the concerns raised by them. Will you agree with them that you have failed as a service to ban some of these vigilante groups?
Say again.
The concerns being raised by the World Bank is that you as a service, the police service, have failed to ban some of these vigilante groups. Do you agree with them?
No, I don't think it was the issue raised. You know, when we met them, the Interior Minister met the UN team that came. The concern they raised is that they wanted more clarification on the issues related to the vigilantes, and of which the Minister explained exactly that yes, everything is on course to disband these vigilantes. You know, these vigilantes have been with us over the years. And for the current police administration, the Inspector General of Police made it clear that for the forthcoming election, the police will not tolerate the existence of vigilantes in our party politics. And so for that matter, what did we start with? We started with a dialogue with the youth groups, and we met also the various chairmen and other general secretaries. And the IGP made it clear to them that we have come of age, and we all knew the effects of these vigilantes when it comes to election. And so because we want this election to be peaceful and very peaceful, among others, for that matter, we are putting all measures in place to ensure that vigilantes are disbanded and that they don't even become part of our party politics. So for that matter, we met them, and then we also assured the various flag bearers and then their running mates that the police is prepared to give them security during their campaigns and then the period of politicking. And so for that matter, the issue of vigilante, because when somebody feels that he hasn't got enough security, he wants to get somebody to protect him. And so for that matter, we are ready to give them the security that they needed for this particular election. So we are also putting in place, you see, you are withdrawing somebody, you are asking the person, don't do this. So you also have to put in place, something that will make the person feel secured during the period. So it's a process we are on. And then it's a dialogue series, and of which, by all means, before we get to that stage, we really say that the vigilantes are not there. There's no need to rush. It is a process that we are on. And for that matter, we are not turning back from that process.
Some have argued that this very issue goes beyond verbal engagement or verbal agreements. Don't you think it is about time the Ghana Police Service seeks some legal or some legislative backing in terms of its planned banning of these vigilante groups?
Yes, there's nothing. Those vigilantes groups have also never been backed by anything. All those activities are illegal. And so we don't need any legislative backing to enable us to disband them. They are really illegal. They are not. We all see the effect of the activities, when even they come into the election periods and whatever, and even beyond. And so for that matter, these people, nobody gave them any backing. But I think over the years, the system allowed them to grow. So for that matter, we don't need any backing to get them out. The only thing is that we are dialoguing with them, and then after dialogue, then we put actions in place to ensure that anything that may arise beyond all this dialogue series, the police will not tolerate it at all.
But Commissioner, some people will also argue that you cannot cure lawlessness with lawlessness. That is, if you are saying that these vigilante groups are not backed by law, and that the only way to engage them is to use dialogue, don't you think you may be treading on a very dangerous?
We have not come to the vigilantes themselves. We have come to those who promote them, and those who even manufacture or bring them into existence. They are the people that we are having dialogue with them. These vigilantes, it is politicians who bring about these vigilantes, the existence of vigilantes. And so because the politicians are the people we are looking up to ensure that we have a successful election, we are telling them that those appendices that you have that make elections very violent and make Ghanaians unsafe all the time, we don't need them anymore. And so it is not the vigilantes that we are dealing with them. When it comes to dealing with vigilantes, I think there's a way of dealing with them. The police will use the appropriate means to deal with those things. If those who bring them into existence are not ready to withdraw them.
Now, Commissioner, finally, before you go, are you receiving any sort of support from the World Bank in your fight against some of these groups?
It's right. I cannot say so, but the first meeting that I attended when the Minister of Interior was the chairman of that function, was today's meeting. So I never had any prior information about any arrangements by the World Bank to support us in terms of this. If it is something that is coming, well, I'm not yet aware.
We're very, very grateful for your time on News at 10. COP Christian Tete Yohunu is Director General of Ghana Police Service Operations, and he's been speaking to us about the banning of vigilante groups across the country in the run-up to the November polls. You're still live on News at 10.